नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. I welcome all the devotees for this Ratnamala session. Today we will discuss one beautiful shloka from the first canto of Bhagavatam, from the prayers of Queen Kunti. So some of you must be knowing this also, but still let's meditate on the meaning of the shloka. So 26th shloka. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadah puman नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्. Someone can begin. Krishna Priya Mataji, first line. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher.
Janmaishvarya shrita shribher.
Again. 3 times.
Yes, sir. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher.
Okay. Vishnu Priya Mataji. Edhamanamadh puman.
Edamanamadh puman. Edamanamadh puman. Edamanamadh puman.
Okay. Snigdha Mataji. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै.
नैवार्हत्य अभिधातुं वै. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै. हरे कृष्ण जी.
कृष्णन प्रभु त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्.
नामकिंचर गोचरम्. त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्. त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु.
Hare Krishna. Then Madhavan Prabhu, 2 lines at a time. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman.
Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Hare Krishna.
Saumya Mataji. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वाम अकिंचन गोचरम्. ब्रजेश्वरी माताजी.
नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्. नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिंचन गोचरम्.
यशोदा.
Yes, Prabhu. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Naivarhatya vidatum vai tvamakinchana gocharam.
Okay, good. Krishiva. Janmaishvarya shrita shribher.
Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Naivarhatya vidatum vai tvamakinchana gocharam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dadavath.
Hasni.
Yes, Janmaishvarya shrita shribher edhamanamadh puman. Naivarhatya vidatum vai tvamakinchana gocharam.
Neelam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. जन्मेश्वर्य श्रुतश्रुभे ईधमान मधपुमान् नैवार्हत्यभिधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्.
Okay. Maybe Krishna.
जन्मैश्वर्य शतश्रेभे एदमानमदापमात् नैवारत्यभितातं वै मम किञ्चन गोचरम्.
Thank you. Madhuri Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम. जन्मेश्वर्य श्रुताशीभि एधमाना मदः पुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Then Divya Gauranga Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी. जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुत श्रीभिरेधमान मदः पुमान् नैवार्हत्याभिधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्. थैंक यू.
Next, Chimai.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. जन्म ऐश्वर्य श्रुत श्रीभिर एधमान मदः पुमान् नैवार्हत्य विधातुं वै त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
You others can recite at the end. So we will discuss the meaning of this shloka. So Kunti Maharani, the mother of Pandavas, she became so overwhelmed with gratitude for Krishna. So the context in which she was offering these prayers is that Ashwathama released the Brahmastra to kill the child within the womb of Mother Uttara. Who was that? Parikshit Maharaj. So Uttara came running to Krishna, seeking his protection. So then Krishna entered within the womb of Mother Uttara and saved Parikshit Maharaj from the heat of Brahmastra with his own power. And after this incident, Kunti Maharani became so overwhelmed with gratitude, and she started praising Krishna in various ways. So in her prayers, we not only see her thanking of Krishna, we also see how she has great understanding of Krishna Bhakti and the position of Krishna, how Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Ishvara. All that we can see in Kunti Maharani's prayers, very comprehensive prayers. In this particular prayer, Mother Kunti is teaching us what are the qualifications to approach Krishna, who can effectively attain Krishna and who cannot attain Krishna. All that she speaks. So now let us see. She says, Janma Ishwarya Shruta Shribhir. Janma means high birth. Somebody may be taking birth in a very rich family or a great Kshatriya family or a great Brahmana family, but that's not the sufficient qualification, or that's not even a necessary qualification to attain Krishna. So Janma means high birth. Aishwarya means lot of wealth, riches. Shruta means education. Shri means beauty. So all these are not the qualification to attain Krishna. Edhamana madah puman. If these four things increase one's mada, means birth, great wealth, education, beauty, such people cannot approach Krishna. Okay. So edhamana madah puman. Puman means people. When people are intoxicated with their wealth, beauty, education, etc., they cannot take shelter of Krishna. That's what she says in the next two lines. Naivarhati abhidhatum vai. Na eva arhati. Na means no. Eva means certainly. Arhati means they're not qualified. They don't deserve. So people who are so intoxicated with these four things do not even deserve to call out for Krishna with feeling. Abhidhatum vai. Abhidhatum means to feelingly address Krishna. So somebody may chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So they may be chanting the names of the Lord, either Hare Krishna mantra or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Om Namo Narayana. There are different devotees who chant different names of the Lord, but it's not just merely uttering the name of the Lord which is important. With what feeling are we addressing? Are we calling out the Lord's name with love, with devotion, with a feeling of dependence, that is more important than just uttering the names. Of course, even such utterance of the names also is very purifying, but when we feelingly address the Lord, that's even more uplifting, even more purifying. So people who are very much satisfied materially with their wealth, with name, fame, prestige, beauty, riches, etc., such people cannot feelingly address the Lord. That's what Kunti Maharani says. Naivarhati abhidhatum vai. Then who can address the Lord? Who can approach the Lord easily? Tvam akinchana gocharam. O Lord, you are easily approached by akinchanas, means materially exhausted people, means poor people, for example. Say somebody has high birth, somebody may not have high birth. Somebody has great wealth, somebody may be very poor or middle class. Or someone may be very educated. They may have BTechs, MTechs, PhDs, postdocs, and very learned scholars. But some people may not be so educated. They may be even illiterate also. And some people may be very influential, but some people are very low-key, simple people, right? Some people may be very beautiful. Some people may not have so much beauty. So now these are all external qualifications. Those people who have these great material qualifications sometimes can become proud, can become very puffed up. A wealthy person may look down upon a poor person. An educated person, learned person may look down upon a illiterate person, right? So when someone is very proud of one's material qualifications, such people cannot depend on the Lord. So poverty is not necessarily a qualification to attain Krishna, but when people are materially exhausted, when people do not have so many riches or education or wealth or beauty, such people can be more dependent on the Lord. Okay. So when they call out the names of the Lord, a hungry man, he calls, oh God, please give me some food. Okay. That may not be the best prayer, but at least there is a dependence that this person expresses. But a very wealthy person who is having all kinds of chappan bhog for him to eat whenever he wants, they may not feel the need to depend on the Lord. So when someone is materially very secure, safe, well settled, very wealthy, having access to all facilities, such people may not be able to take shelter of the Lord if they are proud. But that does not mean poverty is a qualification to approach the Lord and richness is a disqualification to approach the Lord. That's not the message here. Not that all poor people are pure devotees and all rich people are not devotees. That's not the message of this shloka. Here Kunti Maharani clearly says that edhamana madha puman, when there is madha, when someone is intoxicated, when someone is very proud and puffed up of one's material qualifications, such people cannot call out the Lord's names feelingly. Okay. But when that intoxication is not there, when that pride is not there, a beautiful person may still worship Krishna without pride in one's beauty. Okay, a wealthy person can still worship Krishna without taking so much pride in one's wealth, right? So the high birth, education, beauty, they are not disqualifications. Pride in all these possessions is the disqualification, right? Having possessions is not bad. Being so possessive about those possessions and being so proud about those possessions, that is bad, right? So now we have in the universal history, we have so many examples of very qualified people, wealthy people, rich people, learned people. Okay, Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, then Bharat Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj, right? Romapada Maharaj, Rantidev Maharaj. So like that, so many Maharajas are there. These are not just simple wealthy people who have some, few bungalows and few cars. They have great empires. They are such qualified people who are ruling millions of people. Some of them are even rulers of the entire planet in those days, in those yugas. So, but still, they are pure devotees of the Lord. Okay, they are not intoxicated. They are not proud of their wealth. So, wealth can induce pride in a person. High education can induce pride in a person. that does not mean every educated person is proud. That does not mean every beautiful person, every rich person can be proud. There are people who are very, very humble despite having all these great qualifications. So, point is, we should not conclude that all rich people, beautiful people are necessarily proud. If they have humility, then Krishna will accept them. But when someone feels a great degree of satisfaction and security and a sense of pride in one's material qualifications, they cannot call out the names of Krishna. So when there is material satisfaction, for example, there is some difficulty someone is facing. So in such a situation of difficulty, one can depend on the Lord more. I'll tell you an example of a devotee who is traveling in a flight, right? So now people are making announcements, and generally those who have some experience of traveling in flights, so they may not be so attentive to the announcements being made. You put a seat belt like this, and they give so many instructions, right? There is some gate here, there is one, two exits at the windows. They keep giving so many instructions. So one may feel little bored with all that. Okay, when will they stop? People may sometimes think like that also. Okay, so he's a frequent flyer. He's just traveling like that. So one day, the crew has made an announcement. That announcement is that there is a lot of turbulence in the flight. We can crash at any moment. Okay, you start praying, right? You do the needful. Okay, we are trying to control the situation, but its situation is out of our control. Okay, we can crash at any moment. Then this devotee said, "I am chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare." So those few rounds that I chanted in that situation were the most attentive rounds I ever chanted, because the fear of death has come up. Okay, so they don't know at what moment the flight will crash. So people became very desperate. So basically the external difficulties, whether it is poverty or some health issues or some kind of financial issues or some death threats, whatever it may be, the external difficulties will act as impetus for some people to take shelter of Krishna. Pure devotees, right? Completely dedicated devotees, they always take shelter of Krishna, whether in happiness or distress, whether in richness or poverty. So they have no such discrimination. They are always dependent on Krishna. But there are some people, they are dependent more on Krishna only in the situation of difficulty. Only when there is poverty. So poor people, okay, they are more dependent on the Lord. Rich people, okay, I have my meals ready. Okay, even if I don't get salary for 1 month, I have enough rice in my home, wheat in my home to feed my family for next 1 month, no problem. But there are some people who are so desperate. Unless they work whole day and by the end of the day they get 100 or 200 rupees, they can't fill their belly the next day. They have to stay hungry. So there are poor people, there are rich people. Both can become devotees of the Lord. But the point is, a person who is little poor or uneducated, not so materially secure, has a more opportunity or more inclination to be dependent on God more than a materially secure person, especially if he is very proud. Okay, so that's why Kunti Maharani also says in the later shlokas, Kunti Maharani says that Vipadaha santutaha shashvat tatra tatra jagat guru bhavato darshanam yasyat apunar bhava darshanam. Whenever there are difficulties in our lives, you came and protected us. We took shelter of you. Okay, so those difficulties in our lives helped us to be dependent on you. So whenever we prayed to you in those difficulties, we were more dependent on you. We were remembering you more. Our devotion for you became more intensified, and you always reciprocated with us, came and protected us from those calamities. Whether it is the insult done to Draupadi in the Kuru Sabha, or whether it is Duryodhan setting fire to the Lakshagraha, whatever it may be, there are difficulties. In those difficulties, Pandavas depended on Krishna. Krishna reciprocated and protected them. So let all the calamities come again and again. Kunti Maharani says, let the calamities come again and again so that we intensify our dependence on you. We increase our remembrance of Krishna and we taste your love, taste your affection. Okay. So now, after you ate 10 sweets, the 11th sweet is also sweet, but you can't relish it so much. But after you ate so many salty items and especially one mirchi that brought tears in your eyes, then you eat one sweet, it appears much tasty, right? Similarly, when the life is filled with series of happy moments, one may not feel the impetus to take shelter of Krishna. But if there are some ups and downs, especially when there is intense difficulty, in such a situation, one becomes more and more dependent on Krishna, right? So that's why difficulties are also are an impetus for us to take shelter of Krishna and taste Krishna's mercy. When we are in difficulty, Krishna immediately comes and relieves us from the difficulty. So that increases our gratitude for Krishna, love for Krishna, remembrance of Krishna, isn't it? Just like after eating a mirchi, you can relish gulab jamun better. Okay, so after eating 10 gulab jamuns, you can't relish 11th gulab jamun better. That's why sometimes Krishna may purposely give some difficulties to some exalted devotees also, so that he would come and relieve, and there are some special feelings that appear in the hearts of devotees, special rasa, right? So Mother Earth goes to Krishna and prays, Krishna, I'm overburdened by all these kings who are having military forces, and these are demoniac kings, they are liars, they are cheaters. So please relieve me from this burden. Mother Earth prays. Then the Lord comes as an incarnation, Krishna, Rama, like that he comes as an incarnation and relieves Mother Earth from that burden. So while praying to Krishna or Vishnu, Mother Earth is so attentive. Mother Earth is very, like she has great feelings, great emotions. So she is able to chant Krishna, Rama, Vishnu, Narasimha with great feeling. And in reciprocation with that emotions, the Lord comes to this planet and relieves her from that suffering. So that intensifies their rasa, that intensifies their love. So sometimes people may hate God or criticize God or blame God when there are difficulties. But mature people, they use all these difficult circumstances to intensify their connection with God, to become more and more dependent on God. I am not wealthy because God is not merciful on me. No, God is very merciful on me. That's why he made me poor, so that I can depend on him more. That's another perspective. Same poverty, situation is same, but you can see the situation from different perspectives. So great people, good devotees, try to see all situations in life as God sent, and try to become grateful to the Lord, and also try to connect with God in those circumstances. So yes, without Krishna's sanction, we may not even face difficulties. But if the difficult circumstances are giving us opportunity to become more connected to the Lord, we welcome that also, right? So that's the mood of a devotee, as Prabhupada also very beautifully explains in all these slokas, purports. So now, on the other hand, if someone is more and more materially secure in terms of wealth, education, name, fame, prestige, success on a material plane, and if that induces pride in that person, then one may not feel the impetus to depend on the Lord, right? When there are no difficulties in life, then why should I go to temple? Why should I depend on God? Is there God? Some people have this question. Does God exist? Because they're completely secure from a material perspective, whatever they're getting, and they're thinking that I did hard work, I get this money, and I'm living happily. Where is the need for God in my life? So sometimes people may think in this direction, but then people who have difficulties, they may feel, okay, there is God, I need to depend on him. Of course, people who are in difficulties also can become atheistic. People who have wealth can become very devotional. People who have wealth may become atheistic. People who have difficulties can have devotion. All possibilities are there. But the point is, one who is proud of one's material qualifications cannot feelingly address the Lord. That's the point that Mother Kunti is making here. Okay. So now, as one is progressing in material life and getting more and more facilities and more wealth and success and fame, prestige, etc. in society, one needs to be very careful. Right? Initially, when somebody's just started career, I'll just give this example. Yesterday also in that corporate seminar, I was giving this example only. So somebody is trying to climb on a ladder that has 30, 40 steps. So you have some kind of nervousness and fear when you're about to climb. Hey, I may fall at any moment. Okay. But still you manage to climb 2, 3 steps, 4 steps. There you just slipped and then fell down. Then you just balanced yourself and then stood there. You have some fear to climb. So you somehow gathered some courage and started climbing. You climbed, say, 5 steps. You got some hope. Okay, I can also climb. You climbed till 10 steps. That hope became confidence. Yes, I can manage. And you went to the 15th step. Please be careful. Otherwise, the confidence can become overconfidence. And when the person goes to 20th step, the overconfidence can become pride. From 20th step to 25th step, that pride can become inattentiveness. And when someone becomes inattentive at such a height, 25 feet or 30 feet above the ground level, when they become inattentive because of their pride and overconfidence, they fall from there. Now their leg will not break, their head will break. Right? So that's why the more we are becoming prominent in terms of wealth or fame or prestige or whatever it may be, external material qualifications, the more one needs to be careful, because the very nature of matter is to distract us from devotion. Okay. So material wealth, material education, material beauty, material fame, name, all these things have great potential to distract us and deviate us from the devotional path. So we need to be very careful. So little inattentiveness can cause great havoc. So Prabhupada writes in one of the purports. So that's why Mother Kunti is saying in this shloka, one who is very intoxicated and proud of one's material qualifications cannot feelingly address the Lord. On the other hand, people who do not have so many material qualifications can easily address the Lord. And this also does not mean all poor people are pure devotees and all rich people are not devotees. So this is like one possibility, one perspective. One should not have pride. So with this, we'll conclude our explanation, our discussion on this shloka. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vaishnavi Mataji, you want to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes, Vaishnavi, recite.
जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुत श्रीभिरे दमानामदः पुमान् नैवर्हत्याभिधातुं वै त्वाम किञ्चन गोचरम्.
You, Riyansh.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुता श्रीभिर एदमाना मडप्पुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वै त्वाम् अकिञ्चन कश्चन.
Gocharam. Sudarshan.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavatam. Janmaishwarya Shudashrebir Edaman Udahmaman
Naivarhatya Bidhatum Vai.
Naivarhatya Vidatum Vai Tvama Kinchana Gocharam.
Good. Then Abhiram Mataji.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Janmaishwarya Shrita Srivi Yedaman Madappuman Naivarhatya Pitadhum Vai Tvam Aginchana Gocharam.
Shubhangi.
Janmaishwarya Shruta Shrivi Redhamana Madhapuman Nevarhatya Vidhatum Va Tvamakinchana Gocharam.
Kamakshi Mataji.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Prabhuji,
Hare
Dandavat
Krishna.
Pranam. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shrivi Edamana Mudapuman Neshwarya Hatya Vidhatum Vai
त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्. हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Thank you. Then Shubha Prasanna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Janmaishwarya Sutta Shribhi Edhamana Madah Puman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Svam Akinchana Gocharam. Dandavat Prabhu.
Dandavat Prabhu. Inha Seghal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Janmaishware Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madha Puna Naivarhate Abhidhatum Ve Svam Akinchana Gocharam.
Vrinda Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madha Puman Naivartya Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Next, Vrajagaur Prabhu.
Janmaishwarya Srutar Sribir Yedama Madapuman Naivarhati Abhitatum Vai Tam Akinchana Gocharam. Hare Krishna.
Aishwarya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edamana Madah Puman Naivarhate Abhidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Everyone is over. Then Bhavana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madha Puman Naivarhatya Abhidhatum Ve Tvam Akinchan Gocharam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Next, Bhavana Mataji. Soumya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edaman Madha Puman Naivarhatya Vidatum Vai Twamakinchana Gocharam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Bharat Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madha Puman Naivarhati Abhidhatum Ve Twamakinchana Gocharam. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So everyone recited, right? At least once, before or after. Yes, now let's have a second round. Naimisha.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranama. Janmaishwarya Shrita Shribhir Edamana Madha Puman Naivarhatya Bidhatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranama.
Thank you, thank you. Madhavan Prabhu. Okay, Divya Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Janmaishwarya Shrita Shribhir Edamana Madha Puman Naivarhatya Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam.
Vinedi Mataji. Okay.
Janmaishwaryam Sruta Shribhir Edamana Madha Puman Naivarhatya Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. Dandavat Prabhuji.
Last, Sabarish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Janmaishwarya Shuta Shribhir Edhamana Madha Puman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Then Chinmayi.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Janmaishwarya Shruta Shribhir Edhamana Madah Puman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. We'll meet next week with another shloka, either from Bhagavatam or any other scripture I haven't selected. Thank you.